It's about time because we're going there. Hi, welcome back to another episode where we are indeed going to go there. We are currently in a 4-part episodic series on the mess of mentoring. My name is Bianca Juarez. I'm the host of this podcast, but on this series, I'm so excited to be joined by Ayala. Welcome back, sister. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to be picking up where we left off. This is episode 2. If you have missed episode 1, I'm going to say pause, put a pause for the cause, go back and listen to episode 1, because there we talk about the why of mentoring. This episode, we're going to be unpacking what to look for in somebody to be your mentor and mentee. Specifically, how do you identify and call out the things in someone that they might not see in themselves? So we're going to talk about this at a 30,000 foot level, but because Amy and I have lived out mentoring over the last 7 years, we're going to also be talking about what does it mean to be chosen when someone might not feel called, seen, or ready. So let's dive into this conversation. As always, Amy, you're a word nerd.
Yes, I am.
You are a Bible teacher.
Yes.
You are a Bible preacher.
Yes.
Yes.
We both are.
We both are. And so I'm going to open us up with the word. 1 Samuel 16:7, as we're talking about things that we're looking for, things that you need to identify. I just want to root this in this word out of 1 Samuel 16:7. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So true mentors see people the way that God sees them.
Yes.
Not a personality, not a platform, not potential, but in faithfulness, in hunger, and in a desire to build something much bigger than themselves. And so on this particular episode, I want to root this in and anchor this in the theology of divine selection that both challenges me as a mentor and you as a mentee to recalibrate the things that we should be looking for when it comes to mentorship. Are you ready to dive in?
I'm ready to dive in. I'm 100% ready. Okay, so I actually want to start with something. I know that the premise of the episode is even how a mentor looks at a mentee.
Yes.
So let's start there. What do you feel that you saw in me?
Okay. So I'm going to make this applicable to the podcast community at a 30,000 level, and then I'm going to bring it down here.
Okay.
So as a mentor, you should be looking at not who is the coolest, not who is that has the largest social media following.
Charismatic.
The most charismatic. Riz will fade, okay? Like the wrinkles will come and the clothes will be off trend. So the number one thing that you're looking for is heart. As a mentor, you have to have eyes to see, and this is the prophetic edge that a lot of people don't like me talking about. Some conservative folk,
can you talk about it?
Some conservative folk don't want to talk about the prophetic, but it's that je ne sais quoi. It's the X factor. It's the thing that is the intangible.
The discernment.
And discernment too, to be able to identify something in someone. Maybe they see it in themselves, maybe they don't see it in themselves. But number one, I'm looking for heart. I'm looking for heart. In fact, now I'm going to make this specific to you so that we can outwork what we're talking about on a theoretical level, because we outwork this together. 7 years of mentoring. When you came to me, we said that we were going to be candid and honest.
Yes, we did.
So you came to me and you asked to be mentored. And one of the things that you had kind of alluded to was this bourgeoning and budding social media following. And it was almost like you were kind of like showing me this collection of like, hey, this is what I have. Because I think in the back of your mind, and we're going to be honest, in the back of your mind, I think you thought that you would be a more viable candidate because of your social media reach.
Yes.
That I would somehow be more attracted or more inclined to work with you.
Yes.
And what I discovered, and honestly, it gave me the ick.
Yeah.
It gave me the ick. But I now realized it very short into mentoring, the reason that was the case is because every other person who you were under used you for that.
Yes.
They used you for your social media. And I'll be very careful. I'm not being disparaging here, but it was almost like this tit for tat, quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Like you do this for me and I do this for you.
Like, let me show you what I got. I think even when I would do high schools, you know, I did high schools, and I would try to get people plugged into like what God was doing in the high schools. And they would say, okay, great, we'll fund what you do in the high schools, but how many kids can you guarantee that are going to come in?
Right.
And so I always felt like the church will want you in the more that you show them that you have something to offer them.
And now, Amy, I totally understand that that's like the mindset, not just of you, but of so many people. It's like, what can I bring? Or if I have nothing to bring, then I don't want to show up, or I don't want to, or I'm not going to be seen or cared about. When for me, and again, this is very personal, for me, I didn't care about your social media following. Like to me, it was actually something that frightened me because I had been surrounded with clout chasers and I had been surrounded with people that were trying to build a platform. And I'm like, we're building the kingdom. Now, please hear me say, as somebody who has a social media present, as somebody who has written books, as somebody who has a podcast, I believe all that stuff is advantageous.
Yep.
But the motive behind it is what matters to me.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was a little leery of what you thought you brought to this relationship.
Yes.
You want to know the thing that I saw about you that was attractive? And I think that other leaders need to hear this. It's not the outward. I said it earlier. It's the heart. Well, because we're putting flesh on bone right now, your heart to me was beautiful. That you had stayed loyal in one house for 21 years.
Yeah.
And this is your story to tell, not my story to tell. But what I did see was a residue of hurt,
Yes.
a residue of pain, and what could have been resentment. You were willing to lay at the cross and allow it to be redeemed.
Yes.
You didn't speak negatively about anyone who had hurt you, who had marred you, had spoken negatively about you. And now 7 years later, knowing in depth about that season and what happened, I was like, I can't believe you still love Jesus. I can't believe you still love the church. So to me, your heart was the most important thing. And then number 2, grit don't quit is a mantra I live by.
Yes.
Girl, you're scrappy. You're a hustler. And I was in a church building season. Now, my metric for what I saw in you, what I wanted in a mentor, what I called intern, was I needed somebody who was going to be disciplined to make it work. That I could throw you water and you were to turn it into wine. Like you were going to do the miraculous with whatever limited means that we had. Because I was in a church planting season. I couldn't give you a budget. I couldn't give you an office. I couldn't give you LED screens and all this other stuff. What could I give you to help you win? And I felt like it was the parable of the talents. Like every small thing that I gave you, you multiplied it. So for me, it was your heart. Second, it was your resilience, your grit, don't quit. And then the third was ability to make things happen.
Yes.
On a very limited budget. So those are the things that I'm looking for. Even though I have outgrown that church planting season, I'm still in a church building season.
Yes.
We relaunched as Revere, and I'm now the sole lead pastor. There's a lot of things that have changed, and you were with me in that transition, and I needed different things from you. I needed somebody to help carry the theology of the house. I told you, I want new believers classes. I want curriculum. I want you to go in and do foundations of the faith, like Christianity 101. There was different things that I needed of you, but I saw what you did with the little, and I wanted you to do it with a lot.
Yeah. I want to back up one second when we talked about like the social media part.
Yeah.
Because I think for a mentor that's listening, this could probably help them.
Okay.
So yes, of course, I came with that heart of what I can give to you and how that would help. And I remember we had a really hard meeting one day. And this is the part I think can help mentors, because sometimes leading with truth will actually keep us away from hurt later on. And I think one thing that we both said is that we're always going to say the truth.
Yes.
And so we had a really hard meeting one day, and I think we were talking about social media, and you were telling me that I can't be identified just by the one thing that I do, that I need to spread out. And I kind of had a hard time with that, because I felt like that was the one thing that God had given me to steward and to build.
And for clarity for the podcast listener, we were talking about your social media.
Yes. About my social media. And
you were exploding, and you have exploded on TikTok.
Yes.
And this was something you were really proud of.
Yes.
And you felt like...
And to be careful about it. You were kind of bringing me into that. And I actually told you that meeting, I said, I thought this was what you wanted. I said, I thought this is what you wanted. I thought you would have wanted me with social media. I thought that, you would be proud at the fact that this is growing. And it's not to say that you weren't, but you were telling me you're so much more than just this one thing.
Amen.
And you told me I can't forget all that I've been doing the years prior. But because there was such a reframing that was happening, and you said, no, you actually scare me because you have that. Because you said you might take this and start airing out your feelings whenever you feel any type of way.
Girl.
And you said that might become the place where I'm airing out what God wanted me to keep in secret. And I remember sitting there not having anything to say to you because nobody had told me that. So the reason I say that this might help mentors is because that kind of formed the next few years of even how I handled social media and how I handled what I thought that you wanted. Because I think as mentees, we have like this, yes, the mentors say the expectations, but we have these hidden expectations. Like if I hit this and I do this and I do this and I follow her footsteps, then I'm going to seem more pleasing to her or to them or whatever it may be. So I think I want to, I don't know if you want to speak into that at all.
I also want to add on to that last part that you said, that I would be more pleasing to them. And for some people, I don't think this is your heart, but in having worked with other people who have mentored, that I'll be more pleasing to them and I will become who they are. this is wildly important. When it comes to mentoring and a mentor-mentee relationship, we align with people because we like them. And there's something about them that we love and that we want to emulate. But the danger becomes when we feel, I will have what they have or I'll become who they become. Well, anyone who's been under me, I need them to have their own voice and their own identity.
Yes.
And I was pushing against your social media following, not because I didn't believe in it or believe in the power of social media or that it threatened me. I was pushing against it because you were fine. No, I didn't want you ever to be fine with being an influencer.
Yes.
And I would remember being like, Amy, you're so much bigger than a freaking influencer. And yes, I would use freaking. Sorry, Mom. I was getting so frustrated because I needed you to see yourself as a pastor, as a shepherd, as a Bible teacher, as a builder. And the Lord had given you the platform of social media. Praise God.
Yeah.
But that was just one aspect. It is one facet of a multifaceted diamond. But because we're living in the culture and era that we are, social media has become a form of currency.
Yes.
And so what I see is a lot of people they're building the church.
Yes.
They're building their church. And people are like, oh, well, I'm not building a name unto myself, but you might be building the church of hurt. You might be building the church of bitterness, the church of injustice, because you're going to go out and air all the issues that are wrong with churches, mega churches, home churches, big pastors, small pastors, brown pastors, black pastors, white pastors. And they just have a cultural commentary without building the church of God. So they're tearing it down rather than building it up.
Yes.
And so I was just cautiously warning you as you were exploding that I'm like, there is more to you than just this. Because if TikTok goes, guess what? The church is still here. And I remember when TikTok was on a ban and then the president was like, we're shutting TikTok and you were
grieving.
I'm glad you said it. And I was like, well, I told you. I told you.
Yeah.
You know what will never be destroyed? The church of Jesus Christ.
You did tell me.
We built that, babe. You know?
You told me, hey, can you be off of TikTok for 1 month?
Yes. Did I? I said yes like I remembered. Did I tell you to get off?
Yeah, but I didn't. But I told you I'm not going to do it.
Look at you.
Like,
look at you, unruly little lamb.
I was like, God did not convict me of that. That's what I went to you.
And then TikTok was banned.
And then it banned.
Exactly.
And then
it was just for like 5 minutes, but still. Okay. So now I speak at the 30,000 foot of, wait, were you going to ask another question?
Well, I was going to say what I saw in you because you saw what I saw in me, but I want to say one aspect of what I saw in you.
Okay.
I mean, not that I'm the mentor, but what I saw in you, you had been very, very honest at that point of all the different experiences that you have had.
Yeah.
And kind of, the bridges that had burned and stuff that has happened. And within myself, I wanted to be like, I want to make her believe again. That what you invested into me will not be put to waste. And that has been something that I carried secretly because I wanted to prove the narrative of mentorship wrong. Because I have heard so many stories, not just from you, but from different people that mentorship doesn't work, that people don't want mentees, that it costs too much, that it's too time-taking. And I said, no, I want the narrative to be different. And so because I had heard where you were, I saw someone that deeply did love mentorship. I saw you do communication cohorts, leadership cohorts. That was one of the very first things that we did. That you did a preaching cohort, I think.
I did.
And when I saw you do all that, I go, no, she believes in mentorship. It's just about who she has experienced it with.
Yes.
So I wanted to add that caveat.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That feels like a gift.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I think I'm in an interesting season because I have walked through a lot of loss in the last, I would say, 5 years. And in that, some of the loss that I experienced were people. And these are people that I believed in and wanted to see go far. And, the Lord, this season changed and the Lord made the changes. And I'm grateful for the time that I got to. But there is this part where I'm like, gosh, years of pouring into somebody and then like not having a relationship with different people, even a previous marriage. Like, so when I talk about the fear of investment from mentors, I deeply understand the hesitation. I deeply understand the hesitation. So I think I would be remiss not to also give credence and a shout out and give some flowers to Christine Kane. So I want to talk about what it feels like to be seen. I can give my perspective of seeing you, but let me start with this powerful principle that I was seen by somebody. I was invited to a dinner and there I got a chance. I had previously met Christine Kane at a conference. And then a few weeks later, I had an opportunity
How did you feel when you heard her preach? You had to say the story when you heard her preach.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so some people know I was raised in a very conservative church. I never saw women preach or teach on platform and they were not in executive leadership. And so I attend this leadership conference called Catalyst in Atlanta. This was years ago. And there was, good grief. There's like 12,000 people in this arena. And I see a short-haired blonde woman from the land down under talking about, the people of God and open up your Bibles and, we're going to charge hell with a water pistol. And I remember, I felt like my eyebrows were singed off. I had never in my life seen a woman manhandle the word of God like Christine Kane. And I was blown away. I was blown away. So then to have an opportunity to have dinner with her, I just was like beside myself. And I just was going there to learn. I had seen what I had never seen. And I didn't even know that was possible. Well, for all women out there, I think it's a solemn reminder that you cannot be what you don't see. I know in this season of my life, everything that I have lost has allowed me to lead at a different level. And the number one thing that I'm hearing right now is, wow, I didn't know it could be done. Now, I didn't set out to be the poster child for like a woman's movement or anything like that. I am not a feminist. I shave my armpits. Like I love the Lord. I'm submitted to Jesus Christ, good God Almighty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. At the same time, we cannot be what we don't see. I get to be a paradigm for other young women who are stepping into this. Now, Christine saw something in me. And in this expression of the mantle was thrown comes out of Elijah and Elisha. And Elijah was the mentor. Elisha was his mentee. And as a sign of, will you follow me? He placed his cloak down for him. He picked it up and he picked up the mantle, if you will. Though there wasn't a formal, mantle moment with me and Christine, she gave me an opportunity to work for a global anti-human trafficking organization called A21. And then from there, I was able to hear her heart cry for a gathering of women, a cohort of women leadership called Propel. And she allowed me.
You were there for Propel?
Oh, girl, I was the creative director. Hey.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The first magazine. I did the first magazine. She told me her vision for this. And not just me, but me and two other people. We were like, how do we make this a reality? So one person oversaw the logistics. I oversaw a brand development, website, social media, all of that. And so there was a team of people that made this dream a reality. It still exists today. And there's chapters around the world. And she's felt very passionate about women leaders. So I think that number one, being seen by Christine. Now, keep in mind, I was at my dad's church in East LA for years. I had no intention on being in ministry, no intention of being a pastor, no intention of church planting, none at all. And it was her that said, no, there's a call of ministry upon your life. I was already serving in church, but because there was not a paradigm for actually building the church at a high level, I just thought I was going to be a wonderful volunteer and serve the Lord and do those things and just go about my merry way. And having her switch a paradigm, a mental mindset from skepticism to belief, from lack to abundance, from natural to supernatural, it changed me. There was something about being seen by her. Now, our modes of discipleship and mentoring are very different. I was an employee, so she wasn't my mentor. But I do believe in the 6-7 years that I was there, I received a mentorship from her.
From proximity, you're saying.
Proximity.
Yeah.
From proximity. And just watching her life and watching how she did her life and the decisions that she made, I would say that she mentored me. It was not a formal mentorship. And I think if someone needs to hear this, if you are a mentee looking for a mentor, just get around people that you can be mentored by, maybe not even directly, whether it's through podcast or getting in a cohort. I'm in a cohort with Erwin McManus. I don't see him. I just watch him on Zoom, but I made an investment in myself and I would consider myself being instructed and mentored by him. So I think this mentorship mindset that we have, that it's you meet every week for 90 minutes and you go through this curriculum, I think that paradigm is gone. So I just want to give flowers to Christine because I learned a lot from her and I'm grateful for her. And I believe that the leader I am today, the woman that I am today, and the Christ follower I am today has been wildly impacted by her. And that feeling of being seen, I think she saw things in me that I thought were negative. She loved that I served at my dad's church. She loved that I was a nobody. She loved that I wrestled with my identity as being a brown female and, add pastor to that. I think she really saw the things that I felt were negatives. She viewed them as positives. And she was the one that really taught me the heart above everything else.
Was she your first female mentor?
Oh, well. So I would say that there was wonderful women in Daddy's church. My dad's church is still in East Los Angeles today. Shout out to the women of the Ark. There was a lot of women who mothered really well. And I think that I was mothered in that mother mentored well. But as far as like strategic development, leader development, excellence, drive, like that mentoring was from her. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good to hear because I was trying to figure out like, okay, if that was, again, like you said, you can't be what you don't see. And so when you say that, I can see even how you used a lot of that with me on how
Mm.
you led
Mm.
and what you taught me. And not to just see things as, okay, so in a bad way, it's one thing to say yes to Jesus and say yes to ministry. It's a whole other thing on how to live that out.
Yes.
And how to actually take part in ministry and in church and how that plays out. So I think that you did that for me too.
So we have lightly discussed this, but I do want to put some practical handles on this and like we can just make it in bullet pointed form. You are now at an age and stage, and more on episode 3 and 4 about what you're doing now, but you're at an age and stage where you are now being hit up by people for mentoring or discipleship. I am hit up often. So I think it'll be advantageous for the listener to understand what are some hallmarks that you see. I already listed mine, but if I want, I'm gonna beef this up and tease it a little bit more.
Yes.
But like off the cuff, quick fire, what are some things that you look for when someone says, "Hey, will you mentor me?"
Oh yeah. Okay. I think some resemblance in what their yes is like, in the sense of
say more. That doesn't that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. When I look at somebody, I want to see a little bit of what I had in just their zeal.
Okay.
A little resemblance.
Great. So zeal. Great.
I would say their passion behind it.
Great.
That they are still in a young place where they can be molded.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
I'm not saying old people can't be molded or older or whatever you would say, but I would say
Watch your words, girl. As the old lady over here.
Seasoned, mature. They're all great too. And I would say just willingness. Willingness to do whatever it is and to dive into it. I really appreciate when there's that willingness and faithfulness. And I think even the years a little bit behind them, because usually in their first, second year, like there's still something that you want to pour into them. But I think when they're about the 5-7 year mark, we can start building into something else.
Great. So I'm going to say yes and to all that you said. And in this stage and age of my life, I will add some hallmarks for me that will build upon what I said earlier, like heart and grit, don't quit. What I'm really looking for is a deep level of emotional awareness, that they know who they are. Because if they don't know who they are, they'll just try to be you.
Yes.
And then they'll be hurt and be jealous. There's that spirit of Absalom that will come in. A Jezebel spirit will come in. That's another podcast for another day, right? So they have to have a deep sense of self-awareness. There has to be a sense, and this word is nuanced, and I'm going to say it, and some people's booty cheeks are going to get tight and they're going to get frustrated. I'm going to say honor. If you cannot honor up, honor down, and honor around, you will get a sense of entitlement. And that is very worrisome for me at any age and stage. So honor is like, and sincere honor that even looks like respect or deference is really important to me. And then a learned skill. So for you, I pushed back at that one time that we had that hard conversation about social media. But what it showed me, because you had built something, what showed me is that you had developed a skill. And that skill had made you curious. And that curiosity led to production. And so now what people don't know is, in addition to all the things that you do, you also have like a production house where you launch podcasts for other people and you interview and you do a lot of other things.
Yes.
But that was a skill that was honed and developed because someone gave you an opportunity to grow and develop in that. So
you did.
Yay, I know. I said someone.
Yeah, you did. But like she doesn't know it's her.
So I think it's really important to me that anyone who wants to be mentored, what is the skill? Because I do believe in the power of bringing something to someone.
Yeah.
For me, Christine knew that I had a background in branding and marketing.
Yes.
She enjoyed that. She knew I had a passion for social media. She knew that. So that was a differentiator for her because they were looking to redo the brand and website at age 21. There was a lot of synergy in that. So again, in addition to everything that you said, everything that I said, I will add a sense of honor, a heightened sense of self-awareness, and a skill that someone can come to the table with.
100%. I think skill is important too, because a lot of times with mentees and mentors, we feel like it's one-sided. So like the mentor should be pouring into the mentee, and that's the only way that it goes.
Oh, that's great.
But there is something that the mentee has to do for the mentor and make it easier for them. So
in one word, reciprocity.
Yes.
Yes.
Reciprocity.
Love it.
Yes.
Amy, I think what made this mentorship last as long as it has, and it's still, I would say, even going on, you would even say it's still going on in much different form, is that you made building the house of God easier.
Yeah. We have to make the mentor's passion your passion. Because if you're not running and kind of building something, then you're just
taking.
You're just taking.
Mhm.
And that's not the point of it. So yes.
No. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, what do you do with somebody who has all the heart, but maybe is not gifted?
Mm.
Maybe they have all the passion, but they don't have the experience. I know I can answer that, but I'm interested in this stage and season of your life as you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like?
Well, I was that person.
Mm.
I was that person with all the passion. I was all that person with no experience. But what I've often told people now is that it's a dangerous place to be when all you have is zeal and all you have is passion. And I kind of saw how I started crashing and burning because I had that. And you almost take this pride of, I have all this passion and nobody wants anything to do with me. I have all this to give and nobody wants to give me a shot. And it fills you with a sense of pride as if your passion and your zeal is better than what they have. It's not even what they have, it's that they learned how to hone it and how to take control of it. But when you're young, you're just like, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do that. And they don't care about revival and they don't want to see, people come to Jesus. And it's like, hold up. There's a way to doing this. So when you talk about younger people feeling that way, it's a dangerous place when you are unrestrained, which is why I have difficulty. And you really taught me this when you don't belong to a house.
Girl.
When you don't belong to a house, I kind of feel scared when people say, I want to be an influencer, because it's almost like saying, I want to be a pastor. People scare me when they want to be pastors because it's like what you told me. Do you know what you're asking for at this point? And in the same way, I feel that about influencers, or if you want to be an author, any mode that you want to function in ministry. Why? Because you are connected to people. Remember one time you told me the amount of people that you reach is the amount of people that you're going to hurt. And that stuck with me for a long time. So I think that the danger behind
the potential to hurt.
The potential to hurt. The danger behind it is when you are unrestrained and you feel like your zeal and your passion is greater than theirs, when it's actually just more experienced and more mature. So it knows how to handle what God has given them. So when these conversations come to me, I actually tell them, well, what you asked me, well, what house are you a part of?
Mm-hmm.
Are you submitted? Are you surrendered? And if there are not any of those things, then I cannot work with a person like that until they belong somewhere.
That's great. So I'm going to say yes and to that. And then for me, if somebody has all the zeal and all the heart, but maybe doesn't have the skill and they're not at the level that they can run with me at an executive level, what I will do is I won't turn them away. I'll encourage them with their next step, their best next step. So when people come up to me and they're like, oh, I want to be a Bible teacher. I want to be a preacher. I feel like I want to be an author. The first thing that I always tell them, and you've probably been around when I've said this, what do I tell them?
Go to children's ministry.
Oh my, girl, we've done some years. We've done some years and some yards together.
Youth ministry.
Yes, I encourage them because here's my big thing. People feel called to platform ministry, and I love that. But you don't know if you're called. You gotta test it. If you can keep the attention of a 12-year-old, you could preach. Okay? So my thing is, if you make the Bible boring to a 5-year-old, to a 10-year-old, to a 15-year-old, you probably don't have a communication gift.
That's 100% right.
And so I'm not going to leave them high and dry. Sorry. I'm going to give them a pathway of engagement. I'm going to encourage them to become an intern. I'm going to encourage them to take their next step. Or maybe I'm not at Revere, but I'm at a different church and someone says, this is what I want to do. I will encourage them, hey, do you lead a Bible study?
Yeah.
And if you can't grow a Bible study past 5 people, I don't know if that's your next step.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying if the gift is upon you, healthy things grow. And there's someone out there that's like, well, cancer grows too. Yeah. Thanks, Bob. We understand. We get that. But just general principles and practices as somebody who is caring about mentoring, like we don't ever want to dismiss somebody because they're maybe not at that level. Can we give them their next step? And what I have seen is somebody step into youth ministry, develop like certain skills and gifts, if anything else, fortitude and loyalty to build the house that equips them at a different level to discover maybe it's not platform, maybe it's pastoring.
Yes.
Maybe it's not platform, maybe it's strategic development
or
fundraising or an ability to, help those in need.
I have 2 things that I think would be really helpful for you to give. So I think a lot of times mentees can think, oh, you want me to be in children's ministry because you don't think I'm at that level. So we take it almost like a disrespect.
Like an offense,
But can you talk to us about how you believe in reps? And okay, because I feel like that's helpful for the mentee and the mentor of what they can give them and what that actually means when somebody's putting them in that position.
So I like to use the language of getting experiential reps. So when you're in the gym, you don't really know what you're going to max out at until you put plates on the bar and continue to push. Every time that somebody hits a platform, that's a rep. Every time somebody leads as servant leader rally, that's a rep. Every time that you have a pastoral conversation with somebody at church, That's a rep. What you're
Mhm.
doing is you're discovering your voice, and is your ear attuned to the things of God. The more that we communicate, the more that we shepherd, the more that we pastor, the more that we get communication experiences, all of those reps are going to make us stronger. And I think people want to discount, like, yo, you just want me to do a giving message? Oh, you just want me to do announcements?
We got stories on that.
Oh, we have stories on that, honey. And I will say, it's my story. This one church I was a part of for a number of years, they knew that I had written books. They knew that I had been preaching at various places. And they're like, will you give the giving message? Listen, let me tell you something, Amy. I was not offended by that. I was like, oh, this is going to be the greatest giving message I have ever given in my life. Did I write it out? Did I time it? Did I memorize it? Yes, because I want to let whoever's invited me to their platform and expose myself to the sheep that God has entrusted them. I'm going to give them my very best. And if all of us had that mindset, this is going to be my best rep. It strengthens our inner man and also honors those that have given us space on their platforms.
And you really do take it serious in that way. Can I share how we did giving messages at church and how you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember the very first time you told me you're going to go do a giving message. I was like, okay, cool. I really thought it was going to be like any other church, like get up there and, start sharing about the ofrenda. Like, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We're going to do it. And you said, no. You're going to manuscript it. Word for word.
You thought you could just willy-nilly go up there and be led by the Spirit.
Yes. Remember when the first time, like, oh, how do you write notes? And I showed you my Bible. I showed you my sticky notes on how I just had bullet points.
And I had like an aneurysm.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what is this?
And you said, you know where you're going? And I said, yeah, I circled the keywords here in the Bible and here's my bullet points. And you said, oh no.
And now I will say, for context for everyone out there, like,
yes.
Now I think that you can do that. And there's a lot of my
I
notes.
I cannot. No. You made me
I've trained you. I've trained you. But I think the reason why, especially in the developmental phase, we think that notes, outlines, and manuscripts are laborious and we don't need them. Well, we're not leaving room for the Spirit to move.
Yeah.
No, we prepare as if God's not going to show up. And when he shows up, we are ready to just allow ourselves to take a back step so the Spirit of God can move in.
Yes.
But we are not going to squander this opportunity. So my methodology of training and developing, let's just use this giving message, is you will write a giving message. You will send that giving message to me. I will give you my feedback on the theology, on the story, on the connection, on the next steps. And then you will go and tweak that. And then you'll send your tweaked one over to me. And then I'm like, great. Now run it until it feels natural.
Yeah.
And then allow the Spirit of God to breathe on you.
You added a layer there that first time though. Which is great.
What was my layer?
After the two manuscripts, you said you were on preaching somewhere and you still took time.
Yes.
And you sent me a video and you said, okay, I want you to now put up a camera and I want you to preach it like if you were going to say it up there.
Yes.
And so I was like, wait, hold on. She wants me to manuscript it twice.
Yes.
Also audio record it.
Yes.
Then video record it. And it felt like a whole different type of training.
Oh, yes.
So I'm just saying you believe in reps.
Well, and the whole, let me give them context as to why. So when we talk about mentorship, we talk about this, like I am very litigious about this. Number one, and I have told Pastor Caesar at Revere and Pastor Sam, like, I don't want you to fail. I will never put my brother out there unprepared for battle because we're walking to a spiritual battle. And as a woman, I was not going to allow you to fail. Can
we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. But let me also just close this loop. The reason why I asked you to do an audio message is because I'm listening to your intonation.
Yes.
And we can go back on that could be in episode 3. But and then the reason why I did the video is because I wanted you to read. Like when I look at you, I wanted to read a sense of sincerity. I wanted you to believe what you were saying. And I wanted you to become more aware of your facial dynamics. Yes. And what's the number one feedback I give you when you preach?
You smile more.
It's never theology,
no,
Amy.
She said,
have fun. Do you love
She's like,
Jesus?
do you love Jesus?
Yeah.
Is he fun? And then the first time you said, I'm going to hype you up. But every time I say amen, smile, but I would not look to your side of the room.
No, you never made eye contact with me.
I don't think I ever will.
No.
Because you're too into I could be 50 years old and I still will not look at you.
I feel like a mom on toddlers on tiaras. Like, smile, baby, smile. Like, I felt like, come on, Amy, give me something. As we kind of close out, you were going to ask a question.
Yes, but I think it's better fit for the third one.
Okay. Ooh,
yes.
Cliffhanger.
Yes, it's a cliffhanger.
Okay. Amy, I want to thank you for the honest conversations. We are going back. My hope, my heart is that as people are listening to this, you can step into a desire to either be a mentor or be a mentee who ask somebody to mentor them. We're lifting the hood. We're showing you all the messy parts because I believe that mentoring will change those who mentor and those who step into being mentored. If this podcast has been a gift to you, I'm going to ask you to share it with friends. Who needs to hear this message? Who will be blessed by this message? Who needs this resource? Go ahead and send it to them. You could also subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. There's still 2 more episodes in this series. We're grateful that you're a part, and feedback is good. If you have opinions, you could chat at Amy on social media or on me on social media. The links are in the show notes. Or you can write an email to info@inthenameoflove.org. Or you can send it directly to producer Madi, podcast@inthenameoflove.org. We love you and can't wait to hop into episode 3.